Hello guys, Mastag here, and welcome to this episode of Search for the Merch, the series where I review video game merchandise. In this episode, we're going to be reviewing the Kine plush from the Kirby and Friends line made by SK Japan. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. SK Japan is a company well known for making Kirby merchandise. They first started making Kirby merchandise for Kirby of the Stars, or also known as Kirby by Bakatia in the West. I actually do in fact own one of these plushies that SK Japan made in the earlier years, that being the Waldo plush. And look at the plushies in the more early years, they did a pretty good job. But even if they did a pretty good job, they really got their foot in the Kirby merchandise scene in the 2010s, when they went absolutely insane, releasing a ton of high quality Kirby merchandise. One of them in particular being this Kirby and Friends Plus line, featuring Canon Kirby, Cool Kirby, Kine Kirby, and Wick Kirby. I actually have all of the plushies in the set except for Wick Kirby. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing the first one I got besides Canon Kirby, that being Kine Kirby. So without any further ado, let's jump right into this video. Okay, let's actually review this plus. And just by looking at this plus alone, you can already tell this plus is going for a unique art style of its own. And that art style is Kirby Dream Land 3. If you guys don't know, Kirby Dream Land 3 was very iconic for its very unique art style, having a crayon-like art style, making it look distinct from any other Kirby game at its time. And you can already tell this plus is trying to replicate that art style. Just by looking at Kine alone, you can already tell his art style is very similar. But looking at Kirby, you can easily tell that, thanks to Kirby's plaque eyes and Kirby's zigzag blushes. And I gotta be honest, they did a really good job at replicating this plush's art style from Dream Land 3. So let's talk about that, starting off with Kirby himself. Okay, I already mentioned some big details about this Kirby plush, including its blushes and eyes. But alongside its blushes and eyes, this plush also has some other differences, like for example, its skin. Kirby's skin overall looks much more lighter color, which is a theme that goes with every other plush in this set, except for the Canon Kirby plush. And alongside that, all the other plushies in this set besides Canon Kirby all have unique poses based on what Kirby animal he's on. For Kine, Kirby's actually hanging on to his fin, which honestly looks really adorable and is perfect for this plush. But alongside the very cute pose, there's also an additional pose you can also have with this plush, that being putting Kirby inside Kine's mouth, which is actually a reference to how he actually goes inside Kine in the Kirby Dream Land games, which is overall a really nice attention to detail. Alongside that, the plush itself, I'm looking at the softness, is also really good. Of course, yes, the plush isn't as soft as other SK Japan Kirby plushies, but it still is, in my opinion, a really soft Kirby plush overall. Next up on the list, we have is the final thing we're going to be talking about, that being the tag. Looking at the tush tag, it's overall pretty nice, showing a golden color and having the Kirby Puyo 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 Friends logo with some Kirby copyright information, including Nintendo and HAL Laboratory Inc. on the front, and SK Japan's logo and some Japanese text on the back. But this is even the best part, because looking at the cardboard tag, this is absolutely amazing, showing never before seen art of Kirby riding Kine in the ocean, which is overall really good, and not only captures the Kirby Dream Land 3 art style well, but it's just really adorable in my opinion. This is probably one of the most well-made tags I've ever seen for a single Kirby plush or video game merchandise in general, and shows how much care and attention SK Japan put into this plush. And we're not even done with the plush itself, because we have one more thing about this plush that we haven't mentioned, that being Kine, which is honestly one of the best parts of this plush by far. Kine honestly looks one-on-one accurate, not only between his Dream Land 3 design, but his modern design in general. They didn't seep out on any single detail. First we have his Kine's overall expression, which looks really great and accurate to his overall basic expression. Alongside his expression, Kine's overall mouth is very big, of course big enough for Kirby inside, but just filling the mouth inside, it is really soft. Then we have his Kine's fins, which honestly look really great, probably due to the very well made outlines, but along with the really well made outlines, these fins overall feel really great and are sturdy enough for Kirby to hang onto them with no problem. And then we have this Kine's eyes, which classic SK Japan standards look great and really help Kine's expression a lot. And last but not least, we have is the color of Kine, which may look very similar to his regular color, but is much more brighter, probably because it's trying to replicate the Kirby Dream Run 3 art style. And that's it for the Kine plush. It may be a pretty simple plush compared to the other plushies in this set, but in my opinion it still is a really good plush, and is a plush I recommend you to buy if you want to complete the Kirby Animal Trio set, or if you simply want a pretty weird plush in your plush collection. But if you do want to get this plush, however, where can you get it from? Well, we're gonna find that out in the next category of this video, that being the rarity and value section. Next up on the list we have ourselves is the rarity of this plush, and the rarity of this plush isn't that big. You can buy this plush pretty common due to the fact it's still being produced today. But for the value, this plush can go for a decent amount of money, usually for around $30 to $50. Maybe a lot, but in my opinion, I think that's plush for around $30. So if you do want to get this plush, I just recommend you to scroll through eBay a lot and find a really good price, or more easier, simply go to Mercari. These plushies are very heavily common in Mercari, and usually go for really good prices, either $30 like I mentioned earlier, but sometimes even more shorter prices, being $20 at best, which of course means these things will sell out quickly, but if you do manage to get them, they're overall for an absolute steal. So that's pretty much about it for the value and rarity section. And that's pretty much about it for Search for the Merch. Thanks guys for watching, I'm gonna see you guys later.